Hello, we are Craig and Janice, and welcome back to Cruising Off Duty. If you've been following the channel, you know we're about to embark on our summer sailing series, where we do a circumnavigation of Lake Ontario. Well, we circumnavigated the Canadian side of Lake Ontario. When we got all the way around to Niagara, we had to cut back across to Toronto for a second time, which we did not mind. And then we had to take the Canadian side back to Kingston because COVID has closed the US-Canadian border. We're hoping to do the same circumnavigation next year because we had a blast. This time, hopefully, it's open to the US and we can do the entire circle. We had such a blast checking out all the cities and towns along the way. Of course, our favorite was Toronto. It was so nice, we wanted to see it twice. So we really think you're going to enjoy it as well, and we look forward to showing you those episodes right after this one. But our whole trip was almost canceled when the morning we were about to leave, we had a major breakdown. Something, if we hadn't noticed it, would have fried our engine and ruined our summer plans completely. Something that I don't really look that closely at, but I learned from this, you definitely got to check out something called a Seacock. So for those that aren't boaters, well, you may not sleep if you are a boater, knowing how many holes are actually under the waterline on your boat. You have an engine, you have a thru-hull. You have a sink, you have a thru-hull. You have a bathroom with a toilet and another sink, you have another 2 or 3 thru-hulls. A thru-hull is really just a hole below the waterline, and the only thing that stops your boat from sinking to the bottom of the harbor when you're not around, if that plastic pipe that's connected to it ever breaks, is your Seacock. That's the thing that you shut off to stop the water from coming in your boat and sinking you. Unfortunately, just as we're about to leave, ours breaks. Now, did we have a fancy schmancy well-built brass one? No, of course not. Beneteau, our lovely builder, decided to make the thru-hull for our engine out of plastic. And of course, when you have a schedule and you want to be somewhere quick, that's when things are going to break. So the question is, how hard is it to replace a Seacock when you're already in the water, loaded down with full water tanks and full fuel tanks and everything else you need to live on your boat for a month? So stay tuned and you'll find out how easy or hard it really was.
Weigh anchor and hoist the sail.
Pretty much, so we thought we'd get up this morning at 6 a.m. and have a 12-hour motoring / sailing through the Quinte to get as far as we could towards Toronto. Now, the enemy of a sailor is a schedule. Whenever you say a schedule, something is going to go wrong to block you. And here's what happened to us this morning. We got up at 6, we started the engine, and there was no water coming out the back. And I had turned this yesterday to the closed position because when we changed the oil, it leaked a bit and I wanted to wipe, and I moved this handle and it was very, very stiff. So this morning I moved it back to the open Seacock, so that the water here, and this thing here if you can see, would go through the strainer into the engine and cool it down. So we start the engine this morning and no water. So I come in here making sure that the Seacock is open, and I notice it's super, super easy to move. And then it just fell off in my hands. So the Seacock handle is snapped off in the closed position, so we're not getting any water through our engine. So there goes our 12-hour motor sailing day to get towards Toronto on time for Canada Day. So we're probably pooched. Now we have to wait till 9 a.m. to have the channel reopened to hopefully buy another Seacock. The problem with that is we are in the water and we are loaded down with so much gear, we're really low in the water. So the minute I unscrew the Seacock, it's just going to shoot out like Mount St. Helens here. So we got these wooden dowels somewhere that we're going to pound in, hopefully stop the water. I've never done this, change a Seacock while in the water. So we shall see. I'll film it. This episode is going to be more about how do you change a Seacock while you're already in the water, especially loaded down. We are like 2.5, 3 hours into this. So we went to Canadian Tire, Rona, the Chandlery. Everybody has a 3/4 inch threaded to threaded. Well, not everybody, actually. The Canadian Tires didn't. We ended up finding this at Rona. Unfortunately, when we got back here to take this off, we realized this is actually, even though the thread at the bottom we think is 3/4, the top of it is actually like a full 1 inch. And then it goes to a pipe fitting, it just goes into one of these pipes. So needless to say, we don't have the right thing. We thought maybe this could thread in, but it's like a full 1 inch thread. So it's a bit of a shit show. Now we have to take this off just to make sure that this is actually a 3/4 inch thread on the other end. If not, we got to go back and get everything replaced. So let's do this. No other way to do it other than to try. Janice is going to come here with these corks. And when I undo this, it's going to water's going to come.
I have a hammer?
Shooting. Yeah, well, let's worry about the hammer afterwards because I'll probably just put it in by hand. Okay, it's loosening.
It's getting exciting.
Getting exciting. We're not sure how fast the water is going to come shooting out.
We're very heavy right now?
Yeah, we are very loaded down, so the boat's low in the water. A while for it to get up there. Ready?
Okay, ready.
Okay, so it does look like a 3/4
It's the
inch.
smallest thing.
So it's a 3/4. So I can put this on now.
Okay, try it.
Do you want
put it in a
to put
closed
some
position?
plumber's tape around this?
Yes, let's try it.
So we know this cork works. That's good. So this wooden cork is stopping the water. So we could now theoretically go if we wanted
Shopping. Well, I would stay in
to.
bed.
You could hit it with a hammer a bit to get it in there. If we needed to. If you were a solo person and you needed to leave, you could tap it with a hammer. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Get it to be really tight in there and then go shopping for that bit you need. Because unfortunately, as you can see, when you're just looking at it, you're not sure. We guessed that.
We had no idea.
Yeah, we guessed that this was a 3/4, which we were right. What we didn't realize when you have this all together, we thought it would be a 3/4 on the other side as well. But as you can see, when you take this top part off, it's actually big. It's like a full inch wide. And we didn't see any 3/4 to 1 inch, then shrinking down to 1/2 inch for the pipe. It's just a really weird piece. It must have come right from Veneto when they built the boat, but it's a very bizarre piece. And also, it seems really bizarre you would use plastic.
Yeah, when the water tank shutoff valves are heavy metal, and
we want to change.
Important.
Yeah, we go from the front tank to the back tank. They're metal shutoff valves, and somehow or other, your Seacock that goes to the outside world and stops your boat from sinking is just a piece of plastic. So it's dumb. So we put the plumber's tape on the threading.
We're gonna close it.
So,
and then take this handle.
Just so you know, we saw this on YouTube, a smart idea. Since we need to spin this on, and this handle will be in the way, with these nice metal ones, all you do is undo this bolt, take the handle completely off, and then when you thread it in, you don't have to worry about this handle getting caught on the wall or anything else.
Okay. Next step. We got the handle off that thing.
This is the down. We figured out which side, so that handle will have to go up because there's not enough space for the handle to go down to shut off the thing. Okay. On your mark, get set. Want me to pull it?
I'm ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay. Okay.
It's not leaking, so I think it's on tight enough.
Yeah, so that looks good. It's on tight. It's a little hard working in there because you got all these things blocking you. But combination of this and my monkey wrench got it done. In a perfect world, this piece, which was from the old one, could screw in, but it's the wrong size. So we got to go back to the chandlery.
Take that with you.
Yeah, I'll take this with me. I need a 3/4 to whatever this is, 1/2 inch.
Male piece.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome back to a much longer process than we thought. So the one that came with the Beneteau was a 3/4 inch threaded that went to this metal pipe that comes through the hull. And then we thought it would be 3/4 on the other side. That's why we bought this 3/4 to 3/4. They didn't seem to sell anything else anyway. We wanted something in brass or metal because we don't want a crappy piece of plastic breaking on us again. So we got this one. We got it installed. I showed you the footage of the water coming up. But of course, once we finally got this taken off, we realized it's a 3/4 inch to whatever that is, 1 or 1 1/4 inch thread, which is not what we had. So we had to go back to Rona and get this little 3/4 inch thread to a pipe fitting. We made sure we brought the pipe to make sure it fits. So now all we do is we put some plumber's tape on it. Now we just put this in the threading. There we go, nice and snug. Now we just put that pipe on. I'll get Janice to give me the pipe with the pipe fitting. Stick this back on the ratchet. So we put the pipe clamps on both ends, nice and snug. Of course, we won't know for sure if we have any leaks until we open up the shut-off valve, but we have to put the handle back on. We had to take the handle off because to thread it on, the handle would have been in the way. So we had to undo the bolt for the handle, so I'll have to put that back on next. Okay, so we put the handle back on, and this is gonna be the test. If I open this up and...
I should see water come out. Oh,
well, it won't go all the way up here, no. But water's not squirting out of here, so we think we have success. We got the hose clamps here.
Should I go up and turn
hose
on the
clamps here. Yeah, sure.
We're gonna go test it out.
Janice is going to go up and start the engine, and I'm going to see water hopefully come in here. Okay, we have the stairs back on the companionway, ready for our trip towards Toronto.
Yeah.
We're
gonna leave any minute now.
Yeah, hopefully nothing else goes wrong. We got up at 6 a.m. in order to
noon.
leave at 6:30 in the morning, and it's now just past noon. That's how long it took to get back and forth to all these hardware stores to get all the proper parts. But
so we went to 5 places this morning: 2 Canadian Tires, a Home Depot, a chandlery, and then the Rona finally. Got back here, found one piece didn't fit, back to the Rona, exchanged that for the right one. And that's it.
It was a pretty easy job. As long as you had all the right parts. The problem is without taking it off and actually analyzing its sizes, we couldn't tell.
Yes, no.
So we got there and guessed at what sizes our different threads were. And so anyways, we did it. It's done. And now that it's nice brass instead of plastic with a metal handle, it's substantial. It should never break on us again, which is a nice peace of mind because this is scary. Had that been, like, I thought I'd opened it and didn't realize till water wasn't coming out. So this is a sign. Always check your exhaust to make sure water's coming out of your sailboat, because we could have been 2 hours upriver and then my engine overheats and seizes and then we're stuck.
Yeah.
And we'd be nowhere near a hardware store to fix any of this stuff.
And we don't get why one of the most important Seacocks was flimsy plastic when, like, the water tanks are heavy-duty metal and...
Yeah. You could live without a water tank on your boat for fresh water, but you can't live without engine. Well, you could, but you'd have to sail right into your harbor, which is kind of dangerous. So, yeah, I'm kind of glad, just dumb luck, I checked the water exhaust.
And he didn't do it on purpose. He went to retie the dinghy and noticed.
I didn't hear any splashing, and I looked around the edge of the boat, and I'm like, there's no water coming out of our exhaust. And then I came in and took this out and looked, and there's no water in the strainer, and I'm like, what the heck? But the handle said it was open. And the handle had just snapped, but still was moving back and forth. So, wow, this could have been a catastrophe.
Could have been.
Yeah, so glad it worked out.
All we lost was a few bucks and half a day.
Half a day. Oh, well. So hopefully you enjoyed this. You got something out of it. It's definitely a sign. We talked about it at the beginning of the season. We wanted to show on this channel what it's like to own a sailboat, some of the things you go through. Boat, people often joke that boat stands for break out another 1,000. So this didn't cost that much, but a lot of time. But yeah, you're going to have to learn to be resourceful and fix things on your own. And thankfully, we did it while we're still in port.
Yeah.
All right. That's it for now. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If so, give it a thumbs up and
subscribe.
Ciao for now. And with that, we finally got to take off on our 3-week sailing expedition. Unfortunately, it was the worst weather of the whole 3 weeks, going into the rain and having to pass one of the stinkiest islands we know. I wish we had smell-o-vision, because you would not believe the stench coming off this island because of all the bird poop. We are motor sailing just to get by the stinky island over here. It is so bad, and Janice is already feeling not the greatest. She was putting away the tools for me, and we were rushing to get going and making lunch, and of course the boat was bouncing, and now she felt a little crabby, but she gets over it quick. But the smell isn't helping. So.
Weigh anchor and hoist the sail.